And later.
It's live on Facebook. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. All right, we are live, family. So I'm gonna share this to my Walking in Holiness page. Share now. Page.
Okay.
All right, all shared, and let me make sure I turn my volume down.
This ain't anything about alcohol on here.
Right. Okay, we are set. Hello, everybody. Let me put this up here. Hello, everybody. Hey, y'all. For those tuning in, hey. Just getting everything set up, giving people some time to come in. We're going to have a really fun discussion tonight. We're going to talk about love, child. New beginnings and all that good stuff.
No, love.
Huh?
I was talking about some video games.
You
Love.
you say you thought we talking about some video games?
Yeah.
I mean, this can be turned into a video game. I mean, yeah. I love video games.
I get no, never mind. You know what? Let me stop. So
I'm just trying to get my phone set up and it will not cooperate with me. So.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hey y'all. Hello.
How you doing?
See who we got logged on here. We got some of our single life people logged on. Hey y'all. All right. So we just gonna go ahead and get started because it's a little bit after 8 and I'm really excited about this conversation. So for those that aren't able to tune in, you can always watch the recording because this is going to be really good. Okay, so for those that don't know who I am Siobhan Carter. I'm the You Relationship Coach. And what that means is I am passionate about all things concerning relationships, especially the relationship that you have with yourself. And tonight I have the pleasure of welcoming my cousin who I have had on the show several times, Malcolm Bush. And I have the distinct honor of welcoming his fiance child. Yes, honey, he is newly engaged, Miss Roslyn Robertson. So, hey, y'all, welcome. Woo, he put a ring on it. Ooh. How y'all doing tonight?
We good.
Doing good.
Y'all doing good. Y'all ready for this discussion?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now you may have to talk a little loud into the microphone so they can hear you, but I think we should be okay. All right. So today what I want to talk about, so we're at the end of 2018 and when we're going into a new year, you know, we talk about new beginnings and starting over. So I really want to talk tonight about new beginnings. And I thought what better way to talk about new beginnings as we talk about new beginnings in a relationship. And your story is just so amazing to experience from the outside looking in. So I know it has to only be just as amazing being involved in it. So before we get into your story, I want to hear from both of you all. I want you to share just the mindset that you were in before you got together. Like what were you telling yourself about relationships? What were you doing? Like what kind of mental, emotional space were you in prior to meeting each other?
Well, I wasn't even thinking about being in a relationship because when we did meet, I was over in Afghanistan. So my mind was elsewhere. So meeting somebody was the last thing that I was thinking about. But being over there gave me the time to work on me, get myself together, because I had been in previous relationships. I was married years ago, and I just wanted to work on me to get myself together, because I didn't want to keep jumping into relationships and thinking, oh, it's going to work because this is what I wanted, but that's not what I needed. So that time it was me working on me, finally listening to the Lord and him telling me, hey, you need to listen to what I'm trying to tell you to do. So I just took that time to get myself together. I would read my Bible every night, and it was just a me time.
Wow. Okay. And how long had it been since you had been in a relationship?
Before Malcolm, it had been almost a year.
Okay.
Almost a year. And I really call that a relationship, because I was dating somebody, but I felt like I was dating myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. And Brother Malcolm, what state of mind were you in?
Look here, for all those people that have talked to me before, y'all know for a fact I had a prophetic word given to me last year, like in like October, and it was like, just stop settling, stop settling, just wait. So for the longest, just like we had discussions on Valentine's Day, I was like, look, I wasn't trying to get nobody, I'm trying to have nobody. I had this little motto, not until April 1st. I mean,
Yeah.
not until April 1st. So I wasn't really trying to feel nobody. I attempted to date. I attempted to see how I can, coexist with somebody, or even if somebody could, appeal to me on the levels of trying to date again after I did. Because it had been like a year and maybe a year and 2 months before I started actually thinking about it. But I wasn't even trying to hear nobody. I actually was in a state of mind where, you know what? I just want to have fun. I just want to be myself. I don't want to hear nobody. I don't want to see nobody. April 1st, they cry after April 1st. There's no guarantee that's going to work. So
yeah.
I was in a state of mind where I was just like, I didn't want to deal with nobody. I was out. So.
And I remember that, like, we had T-shirts made and everything. We were really serious about this, not until April 1st. And it got contagious. Like, I was like, oh, let me find out what. Right, exactly. Not until April 1st, not so fast. So it became this thing. And it was so funny, but at the same time, it was like you said, prophetic. It was like something was speaking to you, telling you, no, let's just, wait and just chill out and relax, and just allowing yourself to go through the process, and just letting God do whatever he wanted to do. And I'm so appreciative of you listening to him and sharing that with me, because that sparked something within me, to say, you know what, and I came up with my own little slogan or whatever that I wanted to share. So I'm really grateful for you for sharing that, because that unlocked something within me and just helped me to kind of slow down and just like, okay, what do I really want, so I'm grateful for that process. And Erica says she still has her shirt. Like, I think it was 4 of us that actually.
Everybody thought I was playing. Everybody thought, a lot of people say, men don't really mean stuff like that. They get a woman and everything else. And mine is like I said, I won't be the one that's going to sit and be like, oh, I was just straight and narrow. And, no. Yeah. I have my times, but the one thing I still have was what was told to me. Don't worry about April 1st, the day you can really start thinking like that. Yeah. And so those temptations came, that motto, that slogan came back to me. And immediately I was like, you know what? Okay, let me just stop.
Yeah. And is it possible to bring the iPad a little closer, because you're sounding a little distant? So I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. Okay.
What about like that?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So so tell us about the importance of
What'd I do?
I don't know where you went. Hold
on. Go back to it.
Okay, there it goes. Okay. You gone. What happened to you? Okay, hold on, y'all. We just had some technical challenges. Gotta love technology. Okay, all right. I see you now. And now we can't hear you. Hold on. Turn your thing. Okay, all right. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Okay, all right. Cool. Okay, we're back. All right. So what I was saying was, tell us about the importance of just having that time, both of you kind of took some time for yourselves. What would you say to a person who may have just gotten out of a relationship and just really trying, before they get into another one, just want to take some time to yourself? What would you say the importance of doing that is?
It's getting to take that time to know who you are and what you want. Because so many times we say the things that we want, but are those things what we really need? Mm-hmm. We look for, certain people, we see certain types of men out there and was like, oh, that's the kind of man that I want. But we also got to ask yourself, what is it that you really want and that you really want to put up and stand for? Because you can find somebody that looks good to you, but may not be good for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So just take that time to know what you want, what you've been looking for, and then not settle for anything until you find that. You have to make sure you have those realistic expectations, but just make a list and say, hey, this is what I've been through. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to settle until I have a man that is going to give me everything that I'm asking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And what you want to say, cousin?
Now, like I said, for me, it's I knew that I was going through that quote unquote that process of not necessarily experimentation, but basically trying to give people a chance. Mm-hmm. Give this a chance, this for a chance. Don't judge people, don't anything else. But the thing was, I was trying to make myself into what other people wanted and not really desire what I needed.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be, Superman or show these, oh, I'm a good man and everything else. To try to prove a point. But the point was needed proven to me. I needed someone to show me what I was trying to be, basically I was trying to show them. If I wanted love, love me the same way. If I wanted attention, show me the attention. If I wanted somebody to build and grow with, have the mindset that you want to build and grow. Not just come into a relationship and let man do this, man do that, or basically what you think you lack in a relationship that you need from a man, maybe you need to find everything yourself first. Mm-hmm. And then once you find yourself first, then that type of man that will basically, be the offsetting side that you think that you needed, he'll show you more than what you asked for. Mm. And then you'll truly get a man and not what you think a man should be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about, so you guys were taking time for yourself and so tell us about the story of how you actually met. So talk us through that, because Roslyn says she was in Afghanistan and you live in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm trying to understand, or help the people understand. I already know, but help the people understand what happened.
I was in Jackistan because I was jacked over here. It was bad. No, you know what? And like I said, a lot of people have their taboos and their thoughts about online dating. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Online dating is a circus. It is crazy. You hear these great stories.
Yeah.
They went through a bunch of horror stories before they got to their love story.
All right.
I went through Jason, Freddie, Michael, hell, you can start calling them out. I went through some horror stories. but I didn't limit myself to basically what people said or basically what other people thought. I just knew somewhere out there that, basically, if it wasn't local, maybe I need to expand my horizons. Maybe I need to try other things. Maybe not to be so shallow and just, and just date. Just date and not really give it so much of an emphasis that, I got to find this person or she got to do this night. Just date and see how it goes. So, being really open-minded in my dating and dating, with the purpose of basically I know what I wanted, but there's also things that I didn't know I needed. I wish a person could give me a surprise. Somebody, just open a box to me and say, wow, hey, that's different. Let me see what that.
Wow. So. Yeah. And I love what you said about, you knew what you wanted, but there are some things that you didn't realize that you needed. And that is so powerful. I remember talking to a couple who's married now, and the woman had a list of what she wanted. And then she said when she met him, he exceeded her expectations. Like it was far beyond what she even thought, she wanted. So I love, that you say that, because we can start off with something, but it doesn't mean that we tie ourselves, to that list. It just gives us a frame of mind of what we're looking for. But like you said, it's important to be open.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said how you still ain't telling me how y'all met.
Okay. It was a Facebook club called Christian Singles and Professionals.
Pursue Christian Singles and Professionals, for those who are watching and want to, you know, Black Christian Singles. Yeah, being specific. Okay.
Yeah, we can put something on that too. But anyway, you know, yeah, that's what the name of it. And I, you know, again, I came across it, you know, accidentally, but you know, it was no accident. It was something that piqued my interest. You know, being a professional, you know, being African American, you know, the dating struggles, and basically, you know, trying to find like-minded people, because it's not like, you know, every person I met was just bad,
right?
But you meet people that will give you the facade that they're this, and that, and you have to go through the process of filtering that, because a lot of people can talk a lot, but their actions do not match what they say. So you go through that process, and so I went on that site, went on there and posted a little picture, you know, just post up there, just do something, just throw a picture up there, and got hit up like
690 something.
Yeah, 690 times.
It was a lot. I remember that because I was in the group too, and I remember when you posted, I was like, "Dang, you got a lot of comments."
that one post was more than my whole years with the Facebook. So I was like, God, what's going on here? And I didn't know, and all I did was just post the honesty, who I was, my struggles, things I've gone through, and I saw her on there, and I saw her, and so, you know, she had spoke to me, you know, hey, how you doing, though? So I was like, you know, I said, it should look kind of interesting. So then on the profile, you know, I seen, you know, these logistics about her, you know, she military, you know, real rugged, you know, got her thing on, you know, drill sergeant. So first time I look at, you ain't gonna be 2, 3, 4 me around this place.
2, 3,
4. I'm not the one. We ain't gonna hold with it. But something about when I first saw her, and it wasn't nothing like she had fleshly pictures, no showing her body like that. I just saw two sides of her that I didn't understand what I saw. I was like, wow, she looks really interesting, but she also looks like she's someone that's together. And mind you, I mean, she in Afghanistan, I didn't know from the world, but I looked and I saw that about it, and I was like, So, you know, I sent her a little, you know, instant message, you know, hey, hello, how you doing? And that's how it started.
Yeah. Wow. So tell us about what was going on your end, Roslyn. So you get the instant message, or you see him in the group. What did you feel?
Me being in this group, it was just something to say, you know, to socialize, mingle, network with people. I never even introduced myself into the group. Okay. And I was on there and his profile popped up and I just welcomed him to the group, saying just welcome to the group. And he responded back and was like, oh, I always hit up a fellow, you know, veteran service member and stuff. So I was like, okay. And then he sent me a friend request.
That was lying, though. You know, I had to use that. Anyway.
He real smooth.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So he sends a friend request, and I was really kind of iffy about accepting his friend request because I've never done online dating.
Okay.
I would hear, you know, my sister and them used to do it, and I was just iffy about it. I was like, no, because I always watch the shows on TV like Catfish and stuff. Get catfish. So I was like, okay, he's really nice looking, but I mean, it's too good to be true sometimes. So something just told me accept his friend request. I accepted.
She lying.
No, I'm not.
She looked at ID, and that's the first she thought about. She was thinking about serial killers and other people. So she looked at ID and thought about it. Y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the friend request, and you know, there was some just casual back and forth between us. Hey, how you doing? You know, talking, and I had told him, I was like, I'm in Afghanistan. I'm deployed over here. I'll be over here for the next, you know, nine months or so. And we was just like, okay, well, let's just see where things were going. And at this time, we were just, you know, sending messages back and forth. And we were talking about cars because we were talking about trucks. Because I was saying when I came back, I wanted to get a new truck and everything. And he sent me a voice message. And when I heard this voice message and I heard this voice, I was like, oh my God, who is this? And it just made me want to know more about him because his voice was just so calm. And I mean, I was just like, oh goodness. So we to message, and then he was telling me he was going out of town, and when he came back, we would talk, and then we actually started talking on Messenger, and just getting to know each other. And our very first phone conversation that we had was over 7 hours.
Wow, the first one.
The very first phone conversation it was 7 hours, even though there was a little interruption in there, but we talked. And we had so much to talk about. It wasn't one of those conversations like, hey, how you doing? Oh, okay, I'm good. And nothing. It was just straight conversation. We had something to talk about, and we were interested in some of the same things. He would even tell you when it came to relationship, what I was looking for. I was saying the things that he wanted the answers to.
Yeah.
Before he was able to ask me how I thought about certain things, I was already saying this is what I wanted and stuff. And he would also tell you, I knew who he was to me before he did.
Wow. You knew who he was to you before he did. Okay. Tell us about that. What does that mean?
The conversation that we was having, the person that he was, just him being himself and allowing me to be myself, understanding and really listening to the things that I was saying. And listening to him talk about his previous relationships, his marriages and everything, and my previous marriage and stuff, and having kids, it was something, I mean, that just told me he is the one.
Wow.
We continued to talk, and every time we talked, I would always refer to us. Whenever you and I, or, you know, when we do this, it was us, and it's just something that just came naturally.
Wow.
And I asked him questions, or I needed his advice or his opinion on something, I was asking him as somebody that I was already dating, that I've a long time, and I really wanted his honest opinion on the things that I was asking him and that we were talking about. And he'll tell you, it kind of freaked him out.
Yeah, I was like, you know, what's going on here? You know, us. You know, us and we. You know, I'm looking behind like she's talking to somebody else in the room. Hey lady, you know, we just started talking.
You said, hey lady.
Hey lady, we just started talking. So I mean, us. You trying to say USA? Us, but you know, but she. I mean, she's not lying. It was. But you know, sometimes you know we get spooked out there, and you get uncomfortable because when we think people moving too fast, or everything else, oh, slow down, pump your brakes.
Yeah.
But I was never uncomfortable by her conversations. I was never uncomfortable by the things she had to say. I was never rattled by her interjections of us, we, and everything else. It was just puzzling me, like, you saying that just too easy. Like that's too fluent. Come out to my like you've been doing this before, and not anybody else, but you talking about like us, like this has been, you know, a couple of months, you know, maybe years. You know, I'm like us, but I was very reluctant at first. You know, I'm not gonna lie about that. I was, but in time, my reluctancy turned to a realization that there was a lot between me and her that just was undisclosed because it was new. But all I needed was to be patient and wait on and take time, and things would be revealed to me. So
And you know what I love about this? The reality of your story. So, you know, you may hear situations where it's like both knew at the same time, you know, who each other was. And it just seems like you know, float off into the sunset and all that. But the reality was you had a knowing, Roslyn, but my cousin was saying, you know, there was some reluctance, you know. And so I love that because I know for me, with, you know, when you've been in certain situations, when you experience something totally different and totally new, it can be like, wait, alarming almost. Like, wait, what is this? I'm in my head about it, you know. So I'm hearing like there was a heart component to you and a spiritual component to you, Roslyn, that kind of gave you a sense of peace and comfort that was like, you know what, I'm just going to flow with this. So talk about how you were able to do that.
It was just, he made it so easy for me to be able to talk. It wasn't struggle. It wasn't anything that I was like, well, let me kind of hold back a little bit. he allowed me to be who I was.
Wow.
That was, when we started talking, and then he had told me something. He was like, he wanted us to start video chatting so that we can see each other. That was something that was really important to him. Mm-hmm. And I was a little reluctant because being over in Afghanistan, there's medication and stuff that we had to take, and it made my face work out really, really bad. Mm. And I did not want him to see me like that.
Wow.
And because of the medication, and then we also found out it was hormonal because I had the birth control implant in my arm, mm-hmm. which was making my hormones and stuff way out of whack, mm-hmm. and it just it raised havoc on my face. Mm-hmm. So I made the decision to go and have it taken out, and to stop medication and take something else, because I was like, I don't want this man to feel like I'm avoiding him. I don't really, that I'm not interested in him. So I went and did that. And one day he called me. And by mistake, I think he had hit the video for us to see each other. Mm-hmm. And I accepted it. And he was like, oh, there you are. And that was like the first time that we have actually seen each other. Mm. And I told him, I said, I could have made up every excuse in the world why I couldn't accept it.
Yeah.
But it was time that I was able to do this for you. Mm-hmm. And like I told him, what he was asking me to do was not hard at all. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, I didn't even give it a second thought. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did, because I wanted to get to see this man and see who the person was, because I can look at pictures, I can hear your voice. Now I want to see who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
It was emotional.
Yeah.
It was emotional, but that was the best thing about him, because he allowed me to show my emotions and not judge me or look at me like I'm crazy, like, woman, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But allowed me, like I said, to be myself. And then once we started video chatting, it was history from every day. We video chat, gets off of work, when I wake up in the morning, because then we were like on an 8-hour time difference.
Wow, 8-hour time difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was.
She and the blessing was I worked at night, mm-hmm. and so it was almost like offsetting. So when she's up, I'm normally asleep, mm-hmm. or vice versa. But the one thing that that I told her was that, and I didn't mean to cut off, but one thing I did tell her was that, you know what, if I really want to take a good shot at this, then I'll make whatever time is necessary to communicate with you, with your schedule. You willing to do the same for me. So we both have to just basically find a median, mm-hmm. and make time for each other, whatever time of day it is, mm-hmm. and we'll stick to that.
Yeah. And we talked today, and it was very rare conversations were under an hour. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When we talked, it was like we would lose time because we were just involved in that conversation. And then, the building that I was staying in, I had other women that was living in there with me. So he would hear our conversations and just wall out sometimes. Yeah. And he had the conversation and stuff too, just laughing. But the point that, like I said, he made time for me no matter what. No matter what was going on, he would make time for me. And that was something that really touched me, because, like I told him, people make time for who they want to make time for.
Yeah.
And you can call them and they'll give you all excuses. Oh, my phone wasn't working. Oh, I had my phone on vibrate. He made time no matter what time of day. He would be asleep. And I know he should have been asleep. And there'd be times where he would call me and I'm like, you need to be asleep. Mm-hmm. And talk, or we're sending messages to each other while the other one sleeps. So I would send him a message, so when he woke up, he would have this message from me, knowing that I was thinking about him and how I feel about him in the next conversation and stuff. So we did that for all the time. Yeah.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is amazing. That's why I wanted to have this conversation. So you are listen, Roslyn, you're all the way in Afghanistan. He's in Florida. So Malcolm, tell me, what was it that made you say, you know what, I'm going to wait on this woman? Because she wasn't coming back like in a month. You said 9 months, like you were.
When we first started, it was about 8 months left to 8 months left to go.
8 months left. So help us understand, help the brothers and the sisters understand, you know, how you did this. What happened? What did you see? And what helped you to wait for her? Because that's exactly what you did.
I mean, a lot of moonshine, some vitamins.
Stop.
Not moonshine.
But like I said, it came to the point where, again, I was at a realization with myself that, you know, I had put myself through a lot of turmoil, just settling, deciding for women based upon, you know, my simple thoughts. I say simple thoughts. Basically, you know, what I saw, what I thought, and everything else. And when it hit me to just wait, like I said, way back in October,
mm-hmm.
like I said, I had actually just ran across a woman that piqued my interest to the point where I really wanted to know a lot about her. I wanted to take the time to not only just know who she was, but learn the aspects of her living, because I thought that she basically was just different. You know, it was something about her that just didn't intrigue my mind, body. I would say the connection I finally had was, you know, spiritually, I was at a point where, you know what, just wait on what's right. And
wow.
she embodied everything that was right and what I was looking for, not only in a woman, but somebody that basically would be the foundation of a future. And so knowing that you can invest time and energy and money into a lot of things that bring nothing out of it.
Yeah.
I just had the, you know, the enduring spirit to invest, you know, the time to wait.
Mm-hmm.
The time to just be patient, time to take this for what it was and not try to make it what I wanted. And even still, you know, I had to finally submit to one of my old sins, you know, and now sins of the flesh. You know, I had, you know, I'm a physical person, you know, the physical touch, loving, everything else. I'm really into that. And so finally I had to just let go of that and say, you know what, if this truly can be what it's supposed to be, then I gotta overcome that. I gotta, you know, just let it go. And I gotta basically fight temptation, you know, because if I fight it and I follow it, you know, what I'm being told in spirit,
yeah,
I'll receive the rewards of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And so guess what? Yeah. So for 8 months, you know, I made, again, time for her. We communicated every day. There's some days we didn't really communicate, but, you know, I would, you know, text her to let her know that, you know, she still was thought of. And I finally had a point where, you know what, and it was hard. It was hard, but I had to remain, you know, celibate and faithful until she came home. So I had to give it all up and just say, you know what, she's worth waiting for, and I'm just gonna have to wait.
Yeah. And I think that was the most amazing thing for me to watch, because Malcolm and I are very close, so we talk a lot. And to know that there was a woman that he was willing to wait for said so much, you know, and it spoke volumes to him, and it spoke volumes to you, Roslyn, because I'm like, who is this woman that got my cousin acting like this? What is happening? I got to understand what is going on. But I knew it had to be someone very special, because we've had conversations and I knew what he was looking for, and I knew it was just like, nah, that ain't, you know, that's not it. So I'm so grateful to have experienced, you know, the journey from his perspective, and to see his growth, you know, and just the journey that he went on, to really find what he truly desired, and to see you two come together, and now to hear your side of the story, Roslyn, I think it's just amazing. So what would you say to those singles who are watching, especially women who believe that, you know, a man won't wait for you, and, you know, there's no good men out there, and I've been waiting, I've been single for years and I still haven't found blah, blah, blah. What would you say to those women?
I would say there are good men out there. Like I said, I've been divorced 18 years. And I've been in relationships where, yes, I've been proposed to, yeah, I'm getting ready to get married to somebody, but it wasn't right. It just didn't feel right. And like, no, I can't do this. So I had to just take my time and work on me, be me, go out there and just have some fun and not always worried about, hey, I got to have a man, I got to do this and stuff. Because I look at friends and family that are married or that are engaged to have somebody, they look happy on the outside, but you never know what goes on behind closed doors, to where you hear a lot of people, oh, they're cheating, they're doing this stuff. I didn't want that. I wanted to find somebody that was made for me.
Wow.
Someone was made for me.
I know that's right, honey. Yes, say that.
Honestly, say he was made for me. He is somebody, like I said, he listens to me. He allows me to be myself. He compliments me. He completes who I am. And to be able to have somebody to say they're going to wait on you.
Yeah, that's huge.
That kind of took me back, because I was like, are you sure? Because I know 8 months was a long time to ask somebody, well, I didn't even, but to have somebody wait on you, knowing you don't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or in his mind, he thought, I got somebody over there, I'm doing my thing and whatever, and I'm just he was somebody, just to pass time with and stuff. And I was like, no. I was like, how would I have time to be or talk to anybody else when I'm always to you? Right. You see what I'm doing. So I would tell the ladies out there, wait, pray about it, because what we want, like I said, is not always what we need. You can look at all these men out here, and we always are so focused on the physical that we don't pay attention to what somebody really has to offer from the inside. Because there are some people out here to where most people are like, no, because he looks this way or he's not built this way. I always tell Malcolm, what we don't have, we can always get that together. If he looks a certain way or I look a certain way, and we can go to the gym, we can work out. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we can do together for us to be happy and be who we want to be for each other. Because like I told him, it doesn't matter what everybody else say or what everybody thinks. It only matters what he says and what he thinks. Yeah. So I would just say, like I said, pray about it, go out and enjoy yourself. And the most thing is, know what you want, what you're not going to settle for, because we settle for so many things as being women, to say we don't want to by ourselves, we don't do this. And then being Black women, you always see a lot of Black women that are always by themselves, never find anybody, and say that no good men out there. There's a lot of good men. A lot. What are you doing? Where are you going to be able to find people? If you keep saying that there's no good men, you need to change what you're doing, or who you hanging around with, or the places that you're going, because there are men out there that will treat you like a woman, treat you like a queen that you deserve to be treated as. And like I said, Malcolm was that for me, without then physically ever seeing him and touching me. He was mine. Yeah.
I know that's right.
He was mine. And for him to say that he would wait for me until I get home, that when I get home, he will be there to welcome me back and to be able to spend that time with me. He was a man to. Yeah. He was a man to his word. And like I said, I have people that ask me, how did you meet him, and how did y'all meet each other, and is that real? Is he real? Does he, what I got to do, what website I got to get on to find me somebody. But like I said, we had so much in common that we didn't even know that we had in common. And like I said, our conversation with each other was just real. We expressed what we wanted. There was never any lies or deceptions or anything that we were trying to, pull over each other. It was just us being who we are, and he accepted that.
And that's So what I'm hearing in this, I'm hearing openness. There had to be a level of openness. There had to be a level of maturity, you know, to be able to withstand some of the obstacles or the challenges, the distance, and wisdom. You know, wisdom to hear, not just with your natural ears, but with your spiritual ears, to really be able to hear and be in tune and to the spirit, and allowing God to kind of guide you, even when there was an inch of doubt or just uncertainty or reservations, that there was another guiding force that was kind of bringing the two of you together. So I just think that's so beautiful to hear. And there was also a sense of just knowing who you were as individuals, knowing what you've gone through and kind of working through some of that as well, so that you can be ready, you know, when the opportunity presented itself. Yeah. So.
And I just didn't, and I told him I did not just want to know who he was. I wanted to learn everything.
Wow. Wow.
Because the difference from knowing someone and learning things about him. And I learned something new about him every day. And that's what I told him. If we can learn something new about each other every day, then we'll be fine. Yeah. And I think I was the first one to say that I love you.
Okay.
And I didn't know that I said that. That I said it. So I would always call Malcolm in the morning before I would go out on mission. Mm-hmm. And he would always tell me, okay, make sure you be careful and everything. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. You know, we're not going to be over there very long and stuff. Because he would always be concerned about me going out on missions and stuff. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. It was time we would be talking to each other, and he would hear noise, and I'm like, I gotta go. And he's like, what's that? I said, we have indirect fire and stuff coming in. We gotta go and everything. And he would be like, what in the world?
Oh my God. Is loud noises, loud explosions, and so it wasn't like somebody was dragging some damn cans down the street. It was some loud stuff that I'm saying. Wow. Yeah.
So for me, I was like, I had that nonchalant attitude because I'm like, okay, we hear this all the time. This is what we got to do. He's like, no. He was like, you need to hurry up and
Listen, gunshots in New York City, you hear them in streets all the time. So, you know, somebody outside, hey, here's some gunshots.
Yeah.
Them loud explosions.
Yeah. That's a whole nother level of wow.
So we were talking one morning, and before I would go out on mission, and we were getting ready to get off the phone. And I guess I told him that I loved you, because we usually say, okay, bye, you know, I'll talk to you later and everything. Yeah. So he calls me back, and he was like, do you know what you just said? And I was like, what did I say? And he was like, you told me that you love me. And I was like, did I? I don't even remember saying that. I said, but if I did, I'm not going to take it back.
Yeah, because it just flowed probably just from,
It just came out, I guess it was supposed to come out at that time. And like I said, I love him to death.
Wow. So Malcolm, what about from your perspective, you're so silly. What about from your perspective, from a man, what would you say to a man who's watching, who may have similar reservations, like just not sure, feel like they haven't been meeting the right women, may have had past situations that didn't go the way they desired them to? What words of encouragement would you give to them?
I mean, I can tell, all men gonna do what they want to do. So here's the gist of what you can do as a man if you really want to look at it a certain way. You know, there's queens out there that desire kings, but when you deal with jokers all the time, that's what you're used to.
Yeah.
And, you'll deal with women that really don't have the mindset or the mentality. They may have the body and they may have the flash, but again, and I'm not knocking women that take care of themselves, because there's some fine women out there. But the thing is, who's fine to you in your mind, or who's fine for your life? Mm-hmm. The ones that want to treat you like somebody, honor you, respect you, build with you, want to be basically look at you as being a king, and not just being someone they can spend time with, or someone they want to be with based upon what you have, or where you're going, or what you're doing. Find a woman that wants to build with you. Find a woman that says, you know what, in spite of what you're going through, in spite of what I'm going through, I think together we can make a great team. and not just a great team, a fantastic, a heavenly team. And I mean, sometimes you have to offset what you feel physically to take the spiritual approach and say, you know what, what's deep inside? How do I feel when I'm with her? What does it feel like having her around? Does she make me feel like a new man? You know, does she give me the ability to think beyond my normal everyday activities? You know, or is it just, you know, babe, hey, I can't wait to get with her because I want to get me some.
Right.
We go out, we can hang out and everything else. If you have a basic mindset for her, she's not the one for you. You know, you got the mindset that, you know, when she's around, she enhances you. She makes you feel different. She makes you feel, you know, better than anybody else who's been around. And like I said, the one thing I will say about Roslyn is that, you know, she brought a level of newness to me to where I started doing things that I had thought about 15 years ago. And I procrastinated. I procrastinated on a lot of things for a long time. But having her in my life, you know, gave me the energy, the courage, and the spirit to go along and do things a certain way, to achieve certain things, to honor God's blessing of having her in my life. I just say, you know what? Stop talking, start doing.
Wow. Stop talking, start doing. Yeah.
Yeah. My present day fascinations with women. Well, I could see a girl one day, you know, I've been with her and it's like, oh, you know, I can't wait to see her tomorrow. My, you know, intent with her is I can't wait to see years from now with her.
Wow.
I can't wait to see a future with her. You know, she coming to my life became a future, not just an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though, you know, I show my love and everything every day, you know, I was looking at having a house, you know, basically, you know, having a business one day, traveling the world, doing things. There's things about me that I could have done by myself a long time ago, like, you know, go on cruises, go across the world. But I said one day, you know, there's going to be someone that's going to come along that I want to have a first with.
Yeah.
He comes along, and like I said, I've been married twice, so I could have gone many times, on many occasions.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel it. But now, you know, with her in my life, the world is a playground to me now. Now I'm ready to go everywhere. But if I can find a cave in Africa that, you know, that I can hang out with a couple of lions.
Wait a minute, you don't really want to do that in real life.
We ain't do all that. You know, but again, now I feel alive. I feel awakened. Wow. So, you know, my everyday now is not just doing what I want to do and everything else. I want to do things with her. I want to spend things with her family, you know, her children, her friends. Hey, I'm ready to meet y'all. I'm cool with that. We good, you know. When we're gonna see each other, we all can hang out. Let's go here. Let's go there. Not everything, like I said, is just, you know, is an adventure now. Before, I was imprisoned in my environment because I was always waiting for, quote unquote, somebody to compliment me.
Yeah.
But I never really had to do that if that person was really somebody that needed to be with. You know, because at that point in time, going places, doing things, you know, I would have been willing to do them at any point in time. Sometimes I just didn't want to. Sometimes I felt more secure in my home where I am. But when you find a woman that unlocks you and it just makes you lets you just be yourself, and you can do whatever, play video games all night long, do this and that, you know, eat what you want, you know, and again, somebody has the same mindset. The one thing about her I can say is that she was in Afghanistan, I was here, but we had the same mindset, the same heart, the same desire, the same focus, same faith, the same towards a future. And that's what connected us.
Yeah. And so we could talk about this all night, but I want to talk about one more thing, because this is just such a beautiful story. And one of the things I know, even from my own life and what has been a struggle, is not allowing your past to come into your present. So, you know, what words of encouragement would you give to those who have a painful past, you know, have gone through a lot of traumatizing situations in their past? How do you prevent that from coming into your present relationship and almost sabotaging things?
That's when that time to get yourself together comes in play, because in order to be able to have something with somebody, you have to let go of what got you to that point to where it's like, okay, you feel so broken inside and stuff. I mean, I've never really told a lot of people this, but I was in an abusive marriage, and that took its toll on me. And I was not one of those ones that stayed years no, I was out and I was gone. And I was like, I did not want to get married and be treated this way by somebody that is my husband and somebody that said that they love me. I took that time to be able to say, okay, I have kids, because my kids were very young at the time. I had to think about them. Yeah. And it was that time to make sure that they were good, they were safe, and that I needed to get myself together. And what I did not do was blame myself for my marriage going the way that it did, because I didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. I did everything a wife was supposed to do: take care of her husband, take care of the house, the kids. He didn't have to worry about anything. Mm-hmm. But that was not enough. Mm-hmm. And just drew into his insecurities about the things that I were doing, because I was so independent. I was doing things on my own because it wasn't about me. It was about my children. Mm-hmm. So I took that time to say, okay, I had to get past this. I knew then that's not the kind of relationship that I ever wanted, because I always feel like if a man has to put his hands on you, that's not love. Yeah. That's just controlling him, wanting to imprison you to be who he wants you to be, and that's not who you are. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it took for me to be able to learn how to love me. Mm. And it took me a while to do that, because I was always wanting to do things to please everybody else, make else happy, do things, buy stuff, take, give stuff to people. But in the same time, I never got any of that in return. Mm-hmm. I was like, why do I continue to do this and I don't get anything in return? I give so much, but I don't get anything back. Yeah. So I had to tell myself I need to put me first. And if people thought I was being selfish, then I guess I was being selfish. Mm-hmm. And it took me to be in my 40s to realize there's a lot more to me, and there's a lot more living that I have to do. Mm-hmm. And to be able to live a life that I want, to find somebody to live out my golden years, people say, mm-hmm. I had to learn myself and put myself first. Mm. In the mix of that, dating here and there, but it wasn't what I wanted. Yeah. What I needed. Mm-hmm. But once, like I said, I finally stopped and listened to God telling me, Roslyn, you'll never find what you want because you're not listening to me. Mm. When you stop and listen to what I'm trying to tell you, because you're out there looking for what you need. Yeah. For you to have. Wow. And like I said, Malcolm coming along, I would tell anybody, I never expected to be in Afghanistan and meet my future husband. Wow. He is that I knew who he was to me before he did. Mm-hmm. I didn't fight anything. I didn't question it. I just allowed things to go the way that they do. And like I said, we talk about it every day. We have an open book. We don't hide anything from anybody. Mm-hmm. He knows when it's something wrong with me. Yeah. And he asks me, and we'll sit and we'll talk about it and stuff. But we share everything. We have no secrets of anything. And like I told him, what's mine is his. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like, I got to keep stuff to myself and stuff. It's new to me because I've been by myself for so long and have not been in such a committed relationship. And I'm still learning. But like I said, he makes it so much easier for me to be willing to share everything that I have, that I work for, with him. Because he told me his story about past relationships and what he's done and everything. Mm-hmm. I've always told him, it's time for you to feel what it's like for somebody to love you just as much as you love them. Yes. You deserve all the things that you've given to other people and never gotten in return. And I told him, I want to give that to you. I want to show you that I can give you whatever and not expect anything in return, but knowing you're happy and that puts a smile on your face, I'm happy. I always told him, if you're not happy, I'm not happy.
So daggone it, why is bringing tears to my eyes? Listen, okay, because I love this man. Like, this is my brother. We're not just cousins. He is my brother. He has been my covering, my spiritual covering, my confidant, the one that has helped me to grow. So to know that he has someone like you in his life is just, I'm so grateful. And to know that he's been talking about this for a long time before he even met you. He's been voicing what he wanted. He knew what he wanted, and he was waiting for it, So I'm just so grateful to you and to God for bringing the two of you together, because I love this man. And so, yes. And I'm glad that he has found someone who loves just as much as he loves, because he has such a huge heart, and to have that reciprocal relationship is just beautiful. So, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, I've never had, like I say, what I do is, you look at, again, a lot of men, we do what we do because we men. We're in a position, we supposed to take care of them, be supportive, breadwinners, everything else. And I never had somebody that basically just looked at me and said, you know what, you ain't gotta be the breadwinner in order to be loved. You ain't gotta be the breadwinner in order to do this. I can do for you just because. There's no particular reason. And like I told her, I tell every day, I'm not used to it because I'm like, what's that? What's that? And she's such a giving heart, and her is such a kind soul that I have to catch myself. I'm like, why you do that? But it's not why. She's doing it basically for me, because she cares for me, loves me that way, and I have to understand she's doing it from the heart. Yeah. She's not favorite. She's not doing it to show. That's just who she is. Yeah. So,
Lord, today, thank you, Jesus. This is beautiful here. You got me up and here crying and stuff. Oh. Well, I just want to thank you both for sharing. Roslyn, thank you for your service. Thank you for serving our country, and just for everything that you guys are to each other. I'm so grateful that your hearts have connected, and that you are experiencing a love like no other. And my hope and my prayer is that you will continue to be a blessing to each other, and for those who are watching, that can be encouraged and inspired by your story and your testimony and what God can do in two lives when we just submit and surrender to the process, because I heard such a spirit of surrender in you, Roslyn, and just like, I just let go. I'm not fighting it. I know, I finally, have listened to what God is telling me to do, and I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm just open to what he's going to do and just trusting the process. So I'm just so grateful. So any last words you want to leave with the people watching?
Peace, love, and hair grease. Nah, like I said, just, I would say for everybody, have faith, believe that love is real. What you see on TV stars, it is real. It's out there. Again, I'll be the first one to tell you that I never thought. I just always watched movies and shows and thought that was gonna be my story, watch the Notebook, stuff like that. But I have my own personal version of Notebook right now that I'm still writing, and that story will be told many times over. But have faith and believe in love. It's real. It's there. God is still looking out for. God loves you the way he does, and even if you don't, quote unquote, are not a believer in God, he still believes in you. Yeah. So hey, it's there. Just wait on it.
I would just have patience, because your time is coming. It may not be when you want it, but it's coming. And that's the thing that we have to understand. We're instantaneous people. We want things when we want it, how we want it. You just have to allow it to work for you and be patient, because it's going to happen. You just have to be ready for when it does, because we have so many people say, oh, I'm ready to be in a relationship. Oh, I'm ready to find somebody. And mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, they're not ready. Yeah. Because when you are ready for somebody, everybody that you've dealt with in your past, everybody that tries to come at you, you cut them off.
Yeah.
So, it's not like, okay, hey, we're going to be friends. I told Malcolm, my ex-husband wants to be friends with me on Facebook. We're not friends. We are not friends. We have a child together and he's grown, but we're not friends. So I'm not going to accept your friend request because what we've been through is done and over. I put that in the past. I had to forgive him a long time ago to be able to move on with my life. Why do I want you to be back in my life now and say that we're friends? But we're not. So you have to let go of your past to prepare you for your future.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. That's so good. Once again, on that note, thank you all once again for taking the time out to talk with us today. Thank you all for watching, for your comments. I know we didn't get to address your comments in the chat, but we can go back in later and just address them. But thank you for watching and for your comments and just for listening to this inspiring story. So I do this every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I talk about all things concerning relationships. So tune in next week. We're going to have a good show for you next week. All right. See y'all later. Good night.
Love you.